What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome to another live stream. Can you guys hear me? One in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. Please put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me, please. One in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. Um, Shout out to everybody in the building. I hope y'all are doing well. Happy Tuesday. Hope y'all day has been going well for you guys. I hope all is well. One in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, so the audio is good. Thank y'all so much for being here. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. I got another uh topic to discuss today, so I hope you guys are ready to chime in the chat. Also, if you are new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, share and like the video, you guys, and also support by either super chat or cash app, or just liking the stream. That definitely helps your girl out as well. Okay. All right. So you guys see the title, "Fathers Are Needed Plus More." So I want to kind of piggyback off of what I was talking about yesterday, because I have another clip and I think I shared a bit of this clip a while back. So you guys probably might already be familiar with it. But I wanted to play it because I always have a, there's a, I have my 2 cents to say on certain things, and I definitely want you guys to chime in. But I want to play this clip, and this clip was either from the late 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And I wanted to just reiterate this because I think it's so relevant in today's age. As I pointed out yesterday, look, we went all the way back to 1992, and a lot of what was said then is still relevant into 2025, that nothing much has changed, even though a lot of people like to say, oh, well, we're in a different time. We are in a different time. Wigs are more prevalent now. We dress differently and all of that. But some of the core lack of values and other things are still, the mentality is still the same. This is why we're ending up with the outcomes that we're seeing. And now we are seeing more of a divide between black women and men more than ever, right? Do y'all agree with that? We are at such a divide till it's getting kind of scary, honestly, and such at odds, especially when we look at social media. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not looking good, and some of the same ways of thinking, it hasn't changed. So as much as other things have changed, the mentality of how a lot of us think, or and how we act and how we move, is still very much the same. That's why we're seeing the results that we're seeing. So we're going to get into it. As you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. What's going on, Lorenzo Redmond? Pharaoh Ishmael in the building. What's going on, Pharaoh? I am Alex What in the building. What's going on, Alex? Latoya, how are you? Trinity, what's going on? Future King, happy Tuesday, Future King. Miss Fluellen in the building. What's going on? How are you? From Florida, how are you? How is Florida looking right now? Probably looking good weather-wise. Kenya, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for being here. XYZ in the building, Avenge the Ancestors. Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all. Taking a shower with Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Big Dad Guru, Larry Norman, what's going on? Successful MD, Queen of Vibes. What the hell? What's going on, Louis? XYZ says, blessing to you, DeeDee. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, XYZ. I appreciate you for the super chat and for being here and the support. Yeah, Fourth Dimension, what's going on? Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says, what man sinks to be a jumbo can of fix a flat, child? None, I'm gonna assume. Successful MD, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So let's get into it. I want to play this first clip, and then we have a couple of more, you guys. And I definitely want to get your thoughts on it. So make sure you chime in the chat. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. So here we go. Here we go.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father. One. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
Now, before we proceed, the key word she said, she don't want no man holding her down. Where does that come from? Why does, and these are young women, this is back in the day. These are young women, you know, they have children, they're single mothers, and they already have the mentality that a man is going to hold them down in a negative way. You don't want a man holding you down. What would he be holding you down from? You've already given him a child, and now you're taking care of the child by yourself. So how would a man hold you down? See, the teaching and the mentality was already implanted. It was already there. This is the mentality a lot of young women had. So this is where it stems from. They already were indoctrinated into this idea that they didn't need a man. But having a child with one was okay, whether he's there or not. You see what I mean? Let's continue.
Don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so you know it really. Male figures are not substantially important in the family.
Now, she said a male figure was not substantially important in the family. Keep that in mind. A male figure was not substantially important in a family. This is the mentality that a lot of our women have had from way back then and even further back. Or maybe at that point, because this was in I think the mid or late 80s. They were taught this, that a man was not needed. I've heard this growing up too. So that a man was not needed in the household, you can raise a baby by yourself. This is what they were telling them, and this is what they believed, but still, while still complaining how difficult it was and how hard it was, and then still going to put the men on child support. So if the man wasn't needed in the household, you weren't thinking financially, mentally, you weren't thinking of support or any of that, because they had the government, you know, to take care of them. Oh, you can have a child, you can go get some government assistance, and that's going to be substantial enough, when in fact it never was enough. And then they realized it, but then instead of acknowledging it and making changes, they perpetuate the cycle, and then instead of they complain about the men. XYZ says she didn't consider / mention the child's needs. Never, ever considered, even to this day, XYZ. You don't hear women talk about the children. All they talk about is what they want. It's all about me, 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 me. I want I. It's not about a family. It's not about the child. It's about them. So they never considered the results that this would have on the children, which we see how single mother-led households impact children. We see the statistics show you, we see it. But they don't want to acknowledge it, because it shows that they made mistakes, that this was an indoctrinated idea, and they ran with it, and they didn't see the importance of it. And a lot of women to this day don't see the importance of a man in the household and the fathers to their children. Thank you, XYZ, for the super chat. I appreciate you. So, generational curse. Yes, Mrs. Fluellen. Yes. And they hate to acknowledge it. And it's like, oh, even to this day, oh, I can raise a kid by myself. My child don't need a father. I can be that. I make enough money, but don't understand the consequences of that child not having that father there. It's not just about the money. And I say this all the time, but it's just so interesting to me that we can go all the way back to the 80s and the 90s and see how it still applies to today's society. How in 2025, this is still the narrative. So nothing's been learned. Nothing has been learned from this whatsoever. But let's continue.
I ain't thinking about holding up for no sex, my man. You know, if a girl, you know, she get having a baby, carrying a baby, hey, that's on her. You know, I'm not gonna stop my pleasures because of another woman.
What about birth control? What about condom?
Girls don't like them things.
They don't like them things.
They'll tell you to take them things off. They figure that you saying that they filthy or they dirty or something.
It's been a startling change in values. 25 years ago, you would not have heard such things said so freely because they were not embraced so widely. The strong family was still the backbone of Black America, and 3 out of 4 children had both parents at home.
3 out of 4 children had both parents at home at one point. And we know that that's drastically changed. And it has a lot to do with the, the upbringing, the government assistance and all these things that and your choices. You have to look at your choices as well. And we can't ignore the male side of this as well. Because you clearly saw what this man said. Oh, well, them girls, and there are a lot of women who don't like to use condoms. Let's be truthful about it. They didn't like them. That's why they were getting pregnant. Some of them said that they irritated them and they didn't care if the man used it or not. That's a real thing. And a lot of the men didn't care to use it too. All of these things are true. There's a bit of all of this that's happening. It's not all this person doing it or all that person doing. It's a combination. There definitely are men in society who think like that, who don't care if the woman has a baby, and he's going to continue to do what he's doing regardless to what's happening or whether there's a child there or not. So once again, we acknowledge that there are deadbeats, because remember, those men, those young boys and those young girls were all raised by the same people. So if y'all come out the same household, y'all getting the same teachings or the lack thereof. So you're going out not seeing the importance of it. And there are a lot of men who see the importance of raising their child and being there for their child and not just throwing that thing all over the place and making babies out of wedlock. There are men who have that as a priority and understand that they shouldn't be doing that. And there are men who don't subscribe to that at all. So there's a bit of all of this. You know what I mean? Several things could be true at the same time. There's not just one. That's why I don't agree with when women talk about all men are just like this. Not all. It's just the ones that you've encountered yourself with. Not all. I always say, look, when I was raised in a certain environment, right? And within that environment, I saw a bunch of single mothers. That's all I saw was single teen mothers. Let's be clear. Single teen mothers, like these young women in this video, very much like this. That's what my environment was growing up, right? I didn't see a bunch of couples getting, young people getting married and having a family. No, they were all single teen moms or single moms. But as I got older and got out of that environment, I started to see other things. I started to see husbands and wives and families, not just Black families, but different races of families and more people who have, husbands and families. So I had to realize, listen, this is not an example of the entire world. This is just my small anecdotal, positioning. This is what I see on a daily, but it's not a culmination of everything that's going on in the world. So you have your area of what you see, and there are other areas of different things that you see. And it wasn't until I grew up and got out of that hood environment and got out into the world more, then you start to see other examples of different things. You start to see that doesn't make up the entirety of what's going on. So I say that to say a lot of people like to think that, all people are the way that they've experienced stuff. What you've experienced, you tend to believe that that's what's happening all over. What you experience, you tend to believe that that's what's happening all over, and there's no other possibilities, and there's nothing else other than what you see happening, and that's just not true. So you got to understand that, hey, your experience is your experience, and yeah, you see a lot of that, but there still are other experiences. So that means that you cannot just lump a group of people all in one based off of your small experiences and say that this is what they're all like. Just because you don't see Black men with wives and children and raising their kids doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. That just means that that's all that you've been privy to. That's all that you've seen in your surrounding. But outside of your surroundings, there are lots of men who raise their kids, who are married, who have families, houses, and all of it. So I just think we've been conditioned into thinking one way, and that's all we see, and we don't see any. But then you do see it other ways, and then you want it, but you don't know how to go about getting it. So you have to start broadening your horizon and opening your mind to other possibilities and getting rid of this old mentality. Because to me, it's a bit of upbringing, a bit of indoctrination. It's a bit of a lot of things that's caused our community to be stuck in this position and this mindset, and it's to continue to hinder us and hinder the future of our people. Because if we don't change this narrative and start to let the next generation of young people understand the difference, it's over. It's just gonna be over. It's just not. It's not gonna look good whatsoever. I'm just saying. Darius Coleman, once again, thank you, Darius, for being here. And a super chat says, is this the Doc Disappearing Black Family? It might be. I'm not sure what the name of it is. I've seen it before. I just pulled it up again. It might be Darius. And I apologize for not having that for you, but thank you so much for being here in the super chat. Thank you, Darius. Komei 27 or Komai 27. Thank you. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Shahrazad Ali called this years ago. She did, and she caught hell for that statement. Yes, she did. And I think she spoke about it, wrote books about it. And they didn't like it back then. There was a lot of pushback, as we call it now, pushback back then. They didn't want to hear the truth. They didn't want to accept it. All the narrative is designed to be is to say that the black man is the dirtiest, low down ninja ever, and he's the baddest, and he's just bad, and the women are all just good. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. That's always been a narrative that the black man is the most horrible, even though that has been debunked. That black men are the most involved in their children's lives, but they can't fathom that idea because they've pushed this trope that black men are the most in prison and they're the most horrible and they're just the most deadbeat and they're just all of that, when that is not true. That's not true. And so we got to start to change that narrative, and we also got to take some accountability, because as long as they've been pushing that the black man is the worst, the black women have been just sliding by with the worst behavior ever and no type of accountability whatsoever. And now if they consider the black man the worst, they have become just as bad. So what is the excuse for that? The idea that, if a man can do it and get away with it, we can do it too, and it's going to be okay. Because now women seem to have adopted the horrible nature of the men that they claim to be so horrible. Now they're emulating the horrible black man by using men, by going out here trying to be boss chicks and taking control with this masculine attitude. And, they're taking on some of the most horrible traits that they say men had and the very things that they say they didn't like, which doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Let's continue.
That is true no longer. Most black children are now growing up without their fathers. The result is a world turned upside down as children copy what they see and repeat what they learn. LaDawn said she didn't have a father in her home and doesn't think her children need one. She's not unusual. Half the black families today are headed only by a woman. Clorinda said she could make it on her own as a single parent. She has never been married and is raising her daughter without a man's help. She's not unusual. Today, nearly 60% of all black children are born out of wedlock. Timothy said his children are not his responsibility. He has left them to be supported by their mothers and welfare. He's not unusual either. For LaDawn and Clorinda and Timothy, and many more like them in cities all over America, the traditional family no longer exists. It has vanished, and something new is taking its place. Single women and the children they're rearing alone are the fastest growing part of the black population. What becomes of the black family in a world where the values are being turned upside down?
If the parent is 17 and 18, uneducated, unmotivated, fooling around, wandering around, what's the child going to learn? Who's to teach him? When you learn something, you was taught by your parents. It was reinforced by school and your neighbors, but it was taught by your parents. Well, if the parents don't know anything, how are they going to teach the children? So it's not racism that I'm fighting right now. It's the lack of motivation. It's, you see, I'm not even talking about racism. Maybe later on we'll get back to that.
So, there you have it. That this just goes a little back to show we're still dealing with the same things. It's more modern, and now women are, boss chicks, and they're making a little bit money. It's still the same. It's still the same narrative. It's still the same mentality. We even see young kids, young girls in elementary school talking about, I don't know if I want to get married, but I want a child. I want children. They're being brainwashed and indoctrinated into this idea that this is the way it's supposed to go. The idea of having a family, and it's just the nuclear family is just done away with. They don't see the importance of it. Everybody is convinced they don't really want that family, even though they say they want it. They don't really want it, because they've been brainwashed into thinking that, oh, it's no better than being out here single, being a 304, being on my own and taking care of myself because I can get to the bag is way more appealing to the masses. Everybody's thinking, oh, I don't need a man. I could do this by myself, baby. I could travel, and I could do this, and I can have this lifestyle where you just spending all your money as soon as you make it. It's supposed to be so great. It's supposed to be so appealing to everybody to just be able to go out here and blow money. And that's what y'all want. That's what y'all want to. And then when you're blowing the money and you lose your job, now you're crying, looking buck-eyed and distraught, like, what is I'm gonna do? Like, you don't know what you're gonna do, because you know how much money you spend, and you know how much money you need to come in, and if that money ain't coming in, you're screwed. So now you go to panic and wondering, oh my God, what day I'm gonna do, becoming depressed, because you didn't consider life's ebbs and flows. You didn't consider ups and downs. You considered nothing. Oh, I want this, I want it, and that's it. And I'm going to provide it. I don't need a man. A man ain't shit. And I got my kids. I'm going to take care of them. When the kids start acting up. Now you're talking about places where you can go and drop your kids off, give away your teenagers because you can't handle them as a single mother. Oh, just throw away your responsibility because it's too tough. But you don't consider the fact of how fathers are important and very needed in a household. That you just go out here and open them legs and get a baby for anybody, and then complain about the outcomes and that you can't handle it by yourself. It's just mind blowing. Darius, thank you for the super chat, says 65 years ago, blacks were the most married and least divorced. Then LBJ's 1964 Welfare Act turned that statistic on its head barely 20 years later. Hashtag MAGTOW. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Darius. I appreciate you for the super chat and for the commentary. Thank you. It's a fact. It's a fact. They just started depending on the government to raise them and their kids, to take care of them and their kids, even though that wasn't enough money to do that. It wasn't enough money. I mean, a woman with 3 children, and this is experience because my mother raised us, and it was 3 of us at first, then it was 3 more, and she was getting like $264 of government assistance for three children, three girls. $264 a month for 3 children. Was that, now, mind you, you're living in government housing, the projects, no rent, no lights, there was no bills you had to pay, and then food stamps, which I don't remember how much that was, but I remember the government assistance check was $234, I think, $234. And that's all she was getting for 3 children. And that's it. No job, no nothing. Now you think that is enough to raise 3 children? Even if you didn't have rent to pay, there was no rent to pay, right? No lights or nothing, living in the projects. There was none of that to pay. But to live just in general, you know what I'm saying? With 3 children, that is still not enough money for 3 children. 3 girls in particular. That's not enough money to raise a child, and you're doing it by yourself. But they, believed, oh, we could do it by ourselves. We don't need a man. The fathers aren't important. These girls, these young girls don't need fathers. These young men don't need fathers. Oh, we don't even care about that. A lot of times they don't even think about a father. Like I said, it's all about what they want, how they feel at the time. It's not about, oh, what's important for the children. It's not about what is necessary. A lot of these people were young minded, just out having a good time. They weren't thinking about the future. They weren't thinking about the what was most important for the overall family. They were thinking about themselves. You like to go out and screw. You like to go out and have a good time. You go out, you don't care about using protection. You just making babies willy-nilly. It really wasn't about the babies. It was about the good time. The babies just came with it. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't about, oh, I really want a family. No, it's about having a good time. You don't like to use protection. And oh, a baby come out of it. Oh, it's cool because I'm going to get a little bit of money from the government, and that's just enough for me. Not understanding how these kids are gonna how they're gonna thrive on that. And personally going through the experience, it wasn't enough. There's a lot of things that you go without, and a lot of things you're lacking because that is clearly not enough money to raise children. You know what I'm saying? So I just think people need to focus more on what's important and what's best for the child. And if you don't care about the welfare of the child that you're creating, don't create the damn child. It would be better not to bring the child here. You hear women say, well, you should be thinking about your mothers because your mothers brought you here. Well, in some cases, they shouldn't have did that because the child would have not known anything if you hadn't brought them here, and they wouldn't have experienced the trauma that they had to go through because of your poor choices. Okay? So sometimes it's better that certain people don't become parents because you're not doing the best job at it. You get what I'm saying? So that's not an excuse to me. Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat, Pharaoh. I appreciate you, bruh. Boss 304 scammed people out of their money, GoFundMe style, after her man and child passed. Now she got serious backlash. It's like luxury come before common sense. That's crazy. I think I know what you're talking about, Pharaoh. It's, and I'm saying, listen, once again, it's all about accountability, right? It's about being accountable for your actions and your choices. Because, but we already know accountability is like kryptonite. Kevin Samuel said that. No, most women don't want to, be accountable for their actions. They only want to push the blame so they can continue to do what they're doing. And it's about time's up for that because it's affecting the children. A lot of these children are being raised under these households of these single mothers who are very toxic, and a lot of these children are the ones who are suffering because of it. And then these very same women wonder why they can't build relationships with men because you're not equipped to do it, nor are you trying to even figure out how to get to a place to be able to do that. You just want a man to put up with you and deal with you and take your BS, and that's just how it's supposed to go. Because your stepdaddy did that with your mama. Where did that get him? That got him kicked out, no longer in a relationship with her, and a lot of toxic drama that he didn't deserve or need. So it wasn't a good thing then, and it's not a good thing now. Teresa Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, did we miss the narrator say that men felt like the children were not their responsibility? Men still feel like that. I think some men feel like that, Teresa. I think it's clear to say, yes, there are men that feel like that, but there are women that feel like that as well. There are women who don't really want the responsibility of their children as well. It goes both ways. But it's not all men. Yes, we understand that men have to be responsible for their actions too. I said it. The men who were raised by these single mothers, because the majority of them were raised by single mothers, the men and the women. So, of course, men being raised by single mothers, not having their fathers in the household, they're going to adopt that type of mentality that, hey, I don't have to be a father. I don't have to be responsible. I could just make a baby and run off because my dad ran off. Now, why his dad ran off, I don't know. But that's why we got to change that for the men who think like that. So, yes, there are two things could be true at once. There are deadbeat men. We acknowledge that over here. There are deadbeat men who don't want to take care of their responsibilities. But there are also deadbeat women who don't want to take care of their responsibilities as well. Both can be true. It's not all on all the men. And that's the narrative that a lot of people try to push. A lot of women try to push that all black men are just these deadbeats. And I'm here to tell you that they're not. So all of it is true at the same time. We acknowledge the deadbeat men, but we're going to acknowledge the good fathers, the good men who take care of their responsibilities, who have wives, who take care of children, who are not deadbeats sitting on the side, because those men get kind of pushed into this narrative of all black men are this, and that is just not the case. So we deal with the deadbeats, we deal with the good fathers who are good men who have wives, not the men who won't ever marry a woman, and not the the ones who are just out here just doing whatever. So it goes both ways, but we rarely hear the side of taking up for the good men, good black men. Let's say that we got to specify black. Right, because those are the only ones who are put in this. When we know that there are deadbeat other races of men too, it's just not black men. But we acknowledge deadbeat black men. We acknowledge the good black men. We acknowledge that there are horrible women out here who are not good parents, and who are not good mothers, and we acknowledge the good mothers as well. All of this exists, but we far too often we only hear, oh, are these men, they're deadbeats, they all this and they all that. No, that's not all. So we got to understand that all of this exists. It's not just put it all on every black man. And a lot of women who've experienced those deadbeat men is purely because of the men that they choose. And that's the part a lot of women don't want to acknowledge. I've talked to women. A lot of them don't want to accept that part. Girl, you know he was no good when you got with him, but you still went and made a baby with him. Why would you make a baby when you know, girl, but I love him, and yeah, he this and he that, but I still love him, and he gonna change, and he gonna this. No, he ain't gonna change who he is, But a lot of times women escape that part because they don't want to be accountable. And we got to acknowledge that. That's all I'm saying. Acknowledge your choices in this. If you keep picking these deadbeat dudes and you surrounding yourself around these type of men who don't want to take responsibility, why are you keep giving them babies? Why do we have women making baby after baby after baby with irresponsible men? Come on now. And you doing that as a woman doesn't make you more responsible. And it doesn't mean you don't have any part in it. It takes two to make a baby. It takes two to tango. It don't take one, it takes two. And if that's not something that you want, remove yourself from that mentality. Stop thinking and associating yourself with irresponsible men. Vet a person, figure out who they are, not just go run, lay up and throw your legs open because he cute and he fine. Girl, he fine, girl, I'm going to get with him. I know women personally who've done that, and they got babies and they don't learn from it. It's a whole epidemic. And that's why I talk about it, because I know there are, I acknowledge that there are men out here who don't take care of responsibilities, and we don't promote it. We don't promote any of it, but we got to stop pushing it all onto the men as if women don't open their legs and allow these men to get their bodies. That's the part that I'm saying. Women have the power if they use it correctly. You have the power. It's your body, your choice. But if you decide he fine, I'm giving him some, and you open your legs, you don't care if he used protection or not, and then you get pregnant, now it's all on him. No, that's your body. That's your cooch. You opened your legs, you gave your cooch to a man that you barely knew, that was irresponsible. Some of them even have children already. Some of them have 2 or 3 baby mamas, and these women still go after these same dudes, open their legs, give them a child, and then complain that he's a horrible man. He don't take care of his wife. Well, goddamn, what did you think he was gonna do? You think he was gonna man up for you when he didn't man up for the other ones? So this is why I say you gotta vet the type of guys that you decide to sleep with and get in a relationship with, because you just can't assume he fine and he cute and that's the only requirements, and then you go up, get with him and then complain about with him. Look at his history. Look at if he got baby mamas all over the place. If he's not responsible with the things he got going on, what does he have going on? We got to look past this whole idea, oh, he's just fine and cute. This is, a lot of women do this. And I mean, women who consider themselves educated do the same thing too. Girl, he was so fine. I'm going to get me some. Right. And then you pop up pregnant. Now, he don't want it. Some of these men tell these women they don't want a baby, and they tell you to get rid of it. And these women like, I'm not doing that. Okay, now it's your body, your choice. You could choose to do what you want. You choose to keep it, even though he don't want it. Y'all both made irresponsible choices. So now you can walk away from it if you want to, but he can't. And he don't want you. And I think a lot of times when women are talking, they're talking about, oh, these guys ran away from the relationship. No, they were never in a relationship with you. That's the gag, and I be dying laughing because I be knowing these situations. A lot of these women don't be in relationships with the men. It's just a hookup. He was fine, he was cute, y'all hooked up. Y'all don't really have a relationship. So what did he walk away from? He didn't really want you. You really didn't want him or whatever. Y'all just wanted a good time, and you had a good time, and you didn't protect yourself properly, and boom, pop, you're pregnant. Now you saying, oh, he needs to step up to the plate. Now I do think that if you're going out here and you're having sex and you're being unprotected, eat on both sides, and you make a baby, you should be responsible for that. But this is why I think men need to have discipline, and I think women need to have discipline as well. I think women need to be able to keep their legs closed and not open your legs for any the first man or any man that you find fine and cute. And just because you can and you're liberated, no, you need to get to know a person before you jump in to have sex with them, and preferably marry before you carry. But if we know that that's not, typical, but if you're going to be with somebody intimately as an adult, be responsible, protect yourself, and not, just go with anybody. Get to know the person, know that who they are. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it's somebody that you would want to be in a relationship with. Get to know them a little bit. Don't just jump out here thinking because it's liberated as for women to have sex and just go and run do it. Because you're going to have the, the brunt of the responsibility is going to have to be on you as the woman. Because it's your body that would have to go through the changes if you did get pregnant. So this is why I say women ultimately have the power if they use it correctly. Thank you, Teresa, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I think women have the power, but they don't realize how to use it. They think, oh, it's liberating to just go out and have sex and that's just it. But no, it's more liberating for you to reserve yourself, because you know that if you know that's what men want, and they're going to lie to you or tell you anything to get it, you need to be a little bit more smarter and wiser and require certain things from a man before you give them your body. And let alone a baby. I'm just saying. Rick H. Town, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, being the oldest in a single parent home, I felt more like a co-parent than a child. I get that. Had to grow up early because of the actions of my parents. I totally get that too. I get that too. I kind of felt like that too, because I'm a twin, and my twin is a minute older than me, but I still felt like the oldest. And then when my mother had 3 more, children, we felt like that. And it was just a lot of pressure put on you to fill in the gap because she's the only parent there. I definitely get that, Rick. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Successful MD says, do men know they are the actual fathers? Do men know they are the actual fathers? I'll wait. It's Successful MD, and I will say this, and let me tell you, a lot of them don't. And that's just, and I'm glad you said that. A lot of them don't, because a lot of these women aren't just sleeping with one person. They're sleeping with several men, and sometimes the women don't even know who the fathers are. Let's just be honest. I mean, we see how paternity courts are now, and then the tests are coming up that these men aren't the father. Some of these women, I ain't gonna say a lot, I'm gonna say just some of these women don't know who the fathers of their children are because they're promiscuous and they're out here. And once again, to be clear for the people watching, this is not all women. Okay. Just like it's not all men, but for the ones that it applied to, because all of this exists. There are women who are sleeping around and they get pregnant and they don't know who the fathers are. So a lot of times they either just let it go because they feel embarrassed to approach, or we just watched that video of that woman going around with her daughter trying to find out who her daughter's daddy was, child. She didn't know. She's like, let's find out which one of these is my baby's father, because she had no clue. But that isn't new. It's just now acceptable for some reason. And now social media, you can post anything on social media. She didn't know who the father of her child was. So she was getting her daughter swabbed. And I guess maybe getting the men were getting swabbed too, to see which one is her child's father. She had no idea. There have been women who've been sleeping around and and they didn't know who the father of the child was. They didn't know. So some of them back, especially when we was coming up, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do no paternity test or nothing. They would just have the child, raise the child, and that's it. And they don't know who the daddy is. And they figure, it don't matter because I'm raising the child by myself anyway. and the men didn't come forward, they didn't know if they was a father or not, because it's not like they contacted them and told them, hey, I think you might be a father of my child, let me test you. They didn't do all of that back then. You just go on and that's it. And maybe later on in life, like that, there was a video of this guy that I did where um he found out that his actual father was not his father. He found that out as an adult. And so a lot of times you find out later, but growing up, they just go and just raise a child and that's it. So a lot of these fathers don't even know half. And a lot of them come out and say, hey, I didn't even know I had a child because she didn't tell me anything. And it wasn't like y'all were the only two that was together. No, she was sleeping with, he probably was sleeping with multiple other people and she was sleeping with people, but she the one got pregnant. So she don't know who the father is. And it just let it go like that. And a lot of times the children grow up asking about their fathers and stuff. And then that's how it all comes out, And then the mothers a lot of times don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing, When you found Jesus and you older and you found God and now you don't want to talk about all that because now that seems embarrassing. So now it's just a thing of the past and you move on. And the children are left to pick up the pieces, And so it becomes a hot mess, really. And this is why I think it's important that you really protect your womb and really hold yourself sacred and have children with a man who wants to be with you, preferably your husband, somebody that wants to build with you and be there and you want to be with them and y'all build a life and not just all this just promiscuous sex and stuff it's yielding single mother-led households. And we're seeing the downfall of this. We're seeing the consequences of how this is not looking good for the children or anybody else. So I just think we got to do better, both men and women. I'm never just, it's both sides. But if women can't even be accountable for their part in this is why I think they have the most horrible time and why men don't want to deal with them, because they don't want to be accountable at all. They don't want to accept that they had a part to play in it at all in most cases. There are some, but most of the time women don't want to accept any accountability, and I think that's a problem. Successful, hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. Successful MD says, imagine blaming men and you have 5 different dads. Right. Oh, but it doesn't matter, Successful MD. That's what they do. Oh, one was a narcissist. One was an abuser. One was just bad. One was, a liar. One was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? There's an excuse for all. But then when you say, why in the world you kept having babies for toxic men? Why did you lay there and have children for men that you knew were toxic? Then the next excuse is, oh, well, I didn't see the toxic. So after you had the baby, they became toxic. After you had the baby for the next one, he became abusive. No, that's not realistic. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please. Hit the like button, please. It just doesn't make any sense. And there's no excuse for it over and over and over. I said this before. If you made a mistake, truly made a mistake, you were truly young and dumb, and you got pregnant for somebody when you were 18, you know what I'm saying? And you realized you thought this person was going to be the love of your life forever, and y'all messed up and y'all got a baby and then y'all broke up. I will give you a pass for that. I said it before. That's a mistake. You didn't realize, you learned, you got a baby, you raised that child. If he's not in the child's life, you had to do that by yourself. Okay. And you realize this is difficult. This is not what you wanted. This is not what you expected. This is not what you planned for. I understand. And then you make adjustments and you learn from that. And you take that opportunity to say, you know what? I love my child, as you should. And you raise your child and you realize you made a mistake, and that your child definitely needs a father, and this is not what you planned, and then you go on with your life, you better your circumstances, you put yourself in a position to meet men of caliber and not the same type of guy because you were young and dumb, you didn't know how to choose, you were going off of superficial things that didn't equate to healthy, successful relationships or marriage, and you learn, and then you go meet a guy who's willing to accept you and your child. And then he is a guy of a certain caliber, and he understands the importance of a traditional family household, the nuclear family where, hey, there needs to be a mother, a father, and the children. And he decides you're what he wants, and he accepts you and your child, and he marries you. And then y'all continue to create a family together where y'all have children together. then that's the result of you learning from your mistakes and you doing it better. And your child and your children get to see a stable household. A stable household doesn't mean that you don't have issues. A stable household doesn't mean that y'all don't have problems. A stable household don't mean that you don't have ups and downs. What it means is you are vowing to each other to go through the thick and thin, the ups and downs together, that you're going to work past them. You're going to figure it out together. You're not going to walk away when it gets hard. You're vowing to each other that no matter what, we're going to figure this thing out because we got children to raise. We want to keep a stable household for our kids. We want to raise stable children so that they understand the importance of a family structure and dynamic. Because far too often we grow up seeing single-led, mother-led households and we think that that's okay. And then by the time we get older and start emulating that, we realize that this is not cool. We watched our mother struggle, so why would we want to struggle just like that? Even though a lot of people don't want to do it, they end up repeating the cycle because that's all they see and that's all they know. So if you want to change that, it starts with you. You got to start changing some things to present a different outlook for your kids. So your kids will inherently understand that, hey, marriage is important. A family is important. This is what I want to do. I can become successful, build a life for myself, but I want to have a wife and I want to have a husband and I want to have a family. That's the way you build generational wealth. You can't possibly think that you're going to do it as single mothers. I just don't see it. And we see it. It's not happening like that. So I just think, and there may be a few that slip through the cracks that may, and I'm not saying, look, I was raised by a single mother and I don't think I I don't think I came out too shabby, but I will acknowledge that there's some deficits there. There were definitely some things I needed to learn differently from what I was raised with and what I was told, because it wasn't conducive to a healthy marriage. It wasn't conducive to a healthy relationship with a man who comes from 2-parent household, who understand the importance of a family. I had to learn that, and I had to understand that it's not all about me. I was raised. It's not centered around me, but it's centered around your husband and it's centered around your kids. That you have to be able to open yourself up to understanding what men are about, how they think, and a lot of people don't know that. When you're raised with just a mother, you have no clue of a man, because you weren't. It's usually your mother and your aunties and all the women, but no men around. So you don't even think about a man because he wasn't present. So you have to change your mentality to understand that when you deal with a man, men think differently. And you have to understand that, so that you can work with them and so that y'all can actually build something, that's solid. And there's nothing wrong with it. But we've gotten so far away from a traditional family that the men are obsolete and the women running the show, and that's all we know. And that's why we got a bunch of masculine, independent women who only think of themselves and they could care less about a man, but they want one. That don't make sense to me. Pharaoh says, with my father making sure I stay alive with my disability to this day, every surgery for seizures, he was there and supported me. I thank Allah for him. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate you. And I think that's a special thing. And I think it's important and I think it's necessary. Just like I believe mothers are important for the children, fathers are just as important. That's all I'm saying. You can't really have one without the other. And I think we've created a society where we think it's okay because we're used to seeing it and it's something that's normal. But just because it seems normal and people are making it through doesn't mean that it's always okay. Thank you, Pharaoh. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's just where I'm at with that, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about it. I just think we all have to be accountable for our choices. We can't just act like we can make these horrible decisions and it's not going to affect your future or your kids' future. If you think about your kids and what's best for them, I think people will move differently. And you wouldn't go out and make all these kids in the first place just out of just you wanting to have a good time and not caring about the future of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Fathers are certainly necessary. You see the difference between children who are raised with their mothers and their fathers in the household, especially the fathers versus fathers not being in a household. And that brings me to this clip that I want to share with y'all. Now, you tell me who you think is running this household, because I've seen this type of stuff, but this just, I don't know. It just, but you tell me who you think are raising these kids. And I'm not trying to be mean, But it's just the reality in which we live in. And this is why I think we got to stop looking at things as bashing and hate speech and look at it as reality, because it is happening. It's not a lie. It's a real thing that's happening. And if we don't do anything, if we think that all of this is separate events and they're not all connected, then we worse than off than I thought. We worse off than I thought. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let's see. Check this out, which is ridiculous, but it's, look at this. Now tell me who are raising these kids. Just tell me who raising them.
Homecoming face ass.
Oh, bitch! Why you putting that one kid? Fuck off!
His ass don't look like his.
You got your ugly ass church.
I'm frying his ass. His fried Oreo head ass.
I bet when I go one of them in a frying pan, they ass gonna burn.
Look at that. That is babies. That's babies. These babies are out here.
Listen, put it all on the table right away. Let them know.
Hold
There's
on.
some men.
Hold on. Those are babies. Those babies have no respect for authority. Look how they're reacting, cussing. They're cussing, calling the police officers bees. Look, who's right? Why are they out there in diapers? Why are these little kids out here on the street wearing diapers? Where's the mothers? Where are the fathers? Where are the parents? These are clearly broken homes that these kids are being raised in. There's no way you would be raised by two stable parents who would even allow your little babies like this out on the sidewalk, kicking and cussing at police officers with diapers on. That shows you the where we're headed already, and in the direction that it's going and how bad it is. They're gonna grow up and they're gonna disrespect authority. They have no home training. Clearly, they're not being taught. They're not being raised by fathers. They're not probably even raised by the mothers. But this type of behavior we're supposed to ignore and say, oh, they're just kids. Oh, they're just babies. That's just what babies do. No, my babies ain't never been out on no corner of the street with no goddamn diaper on, cussing at police, child. Why are they out there? First off, those babies can't be no more than what, 2, 3? I mean, little. Why are they out there? But as a black community and as a black person, we're supposed to just be quiet and go with the narrative. Oh, black people, all of them are just doing the right things, and we, the mothers are so great, and we don't need nothing. We don't need to change nothing, and we're just perfect, and we got it all together. And these ninjas, they just running away. Okay, they running away from you. It's not like they were married to you and y'all were a family. He just said, fuck it, I'm out. I'm done being a parent. I don't want to be with you no more. No, none of y'all, majority of you don't get married. The majority of you don't care about that. You just care about having a good time. A good time overrides, family structure. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. But those little kids are going to grow up and become adults. And what do you think they're going to be out here doing? Y'all talking about crime rates and these young people doing this and that. Who you think majority of the young people in prisons were raised by single mother households? It's a fact. They didn't have fathers in their homes. Why do you think they were acting out? Why do you think that there are systems that are being put in place to where you can get rid of your teenage kids if they're causing you problems and you can't handle them? Because it's a growing issue of single mothers who are having a hard time raising their sons, in particular because these sons grow up and they start acting out because they don't have no structure there. They know they can run over the mama in a lot of cases because no daddy is there. They're missing that structure. They're missing discipline. They're missing that balance between the mother and the father. If it takes 2 to make them, it takes 2 to raise them. And if you know that, why not prioritize husbands, fathers, men who are really going to be there to take care of your child? If you can't do that, don't go out and have a child. Just because you go out and have sex with the man don't mean that that man is your man and he's ready to have a child. This is why I say this is where the men come in. You shouldn't be out here throwing that thing into any woman, because if the women are opening their legs, which a lot of them are, they don't have no discipline. I said this the other day. If the women don't have no discipline, they rather just throw that cooch on you because they think you fine. You got to have the discipline enough to know, I'm not going to raw dog this woman because I don't want a baby out here that I'm not ready to take care of. So this is where you got to say no to these women. No to these women who are pushing that cooch on you and trying to give it to you because they act like they so perfect and they don't do no wrong. But a lot of them be trying to throw that thing on these men, and they could care less if they get a baby because, see, they know they're going to get government assistance. You, on the other hand, you're not going to get no help from the government. And then she gonna throw you on child support on top of the government assistance. And the money that you make, now you gonna have to pay it to her because she gonna have full custody of that child, whether you wanted a child or not. And whether she wanted one or not, she gonna go through with it because she know there's benefits for her and that child that she can use. So why put yourself in that situation? Why? Don't put yourself in that situation. Walk. When these women are throwing themselves at you and they're really hot and bothered, walk away. Have some decency and some discipline to say no, because it's a trap. And they won't, and they can't say that they trap you, and you won't have to worry about a lot of the situations that some of these men who can't control themselves end up being in. Pharaoh, thank you for the super chat. Says they must have watched the Riley and LaMilton EP. I don't know what that is, Pharaoh, but I appreciate you for the super chat, Pharaoh. Thank you once again, bro. You know, so yeah, that's why I say men have the burden of being disciplined and not just letting any woman seduce you, because these women can seduce men too. They're not running around here innocent and all the ones, oh, I don't want sex. No, when women like sex just as much as men. So if they think you fine and cute, they'll give you some. You ain't got to take them to no fancy restaurant or nothing. They'll take it right in the back of your Honda. Let's be honest. And that's not all women, but for the women that will. Because some of them know they don't have no shame in their game. They'll tell you, oh, he fine, girl. I want him. And then, you know, you fall for the okie doke, and then you be stuck like Chuck. And then you be sitting here, and this woman be to open them legs and don't care about no protection and get a baby from you because she want a baby from you. And then now, you know, when you don't do what she want, now she gonna throw you on child support. Now you stuck. And if you're a responsible man, you ain't gonna run away from your baby, so you gonna take care of, now you gotta still deal with her. You know? I'm just saying. So be careful out here. Don't allow that to happen. Because it can happen. I want to play another clip for y'all. I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I want to play this other clip. Let me pull it.
No more smoking weed.
That I think is important. For young men, if you need to have fathers in the home. And if you don't, there needs to be some type of mentor, somebody who can direct these kids, because without it, it's going to be a problem. Pharaoh, Riley and LaMilton, Tayshawn episode Boondocks, LOL. Okay, gotcha. I don't even watch that, y'all. I think I watched a couple of episodes and that's it. But I hear you. Thank you, Pharaoh, once again. The Bible warns us up and down about the seductress. Exactly. That's true. Mauricio, that is true. But check out this little clip here, because this is another one that shows you how fathers are important in children's lives and why they're needed. Check this out.
No more smoking weed. I'm going to test you 30 days from today, because weed stays in your body for 30 days. I will test you on June 1st, where it should be out of your system if you don't smoke from today on. If you smoke after today, you are guaranteeing yourself a jail stay. Do you understand? You are not to have any communication with any of the people that you hang out with at the store, and you're not allowed to go back there. And I'm putting a monitor on your ankle so I know where you are at all times. So I will know if you're at school or if you're toying with me. Do you understand? And I'm giving you a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You can either have it this way or you can go to jail. What do you want to do? If your mom tells you to jump, you better ask how high, because you give her one problem, I will put you on my knee and I'm going to spank you like a little child, but I will do it with a ton of jail time. Do you understand? I'm not playing games, and I'm tired of your behavior. And I'm going to give your mom my card so she can call me directly if she ever has any problems with you. Do you think she wants to be here? Do you think she wants to be in court? She could be at home making money, but now she's got to spend the next 5 hours spending money coming downtown on multiple occasions, pay for parking, because you act like a knucklehead. Not only that, if you don't graduate from high school, have you seen all the people back there? You know what they are? Children that never grew up. People that have no self-control. That's what we have back there. They will amount to nothing for the rest of their life. They will never have a pot to piss in. They will never have money. They'll never go on vacations. They'll never buy a Lexus or Mercedes Benz. They'll never go to Fiji. That's what life is about. Life is about buying nice things, going on expensive, lavish vacations, not going to court over and over.
I would play this video because this is a hot mess, but it's not relevant to the topic. This video had me laughing, but we gonna move on. This judge here to me is very fair. I think I've seen lots of clips of him. He's fair in many different ways. But I think this particular one that shows the mom actually looked like she was scared to look over at the son for some reason. I think she could have been one of the moms who was afraid of her own son. Look, my auntie was afraid of her children. My aunt was afraid of her children. You know, and I said, Lord, when I have children, I'm not gonna be afraid of my children. God, no hell, hell no. I didn't want that. I watched my aunt be afraid of her own children. A lot of these mothers are afraid of their children. You know, like I said, these young boys, they get up and they start acting out and doing crazy things, and these mothers become afraid of them. And now he's, getting into trouble in this situation, and he looks scared of the judge, as he should be, because there need to be a level of fear within these kids from the parents. If you're the parent and you have no type of, you don't incite any type of fear or any of that into your kids, to me, I think you're doing something wrong. And not fear to where they're scared to talk to you, but fear to know that, hey, if I don't listen to my parents, there's going to be consequences. That type of fear. Like if I don't do what my parents say, there's going to be consequences. There should be a level of that in their upbringing, that they're afraid to cross mom and dad. They know that mom and dad ain't going to play, that you got to follow the rules, that you need to do what you're supposed to do, or there are going to be some consequences. You can't, what's the point of having parents if you have no control over your kids, and you have no type of authority over them? You're responsible for them. And a lot of people, this whole new woke society of people trying to say, oh my God, your kids are not, you don't own them, of course. But I mean, if they get into trouble, don't the system own them then? Tell me I'm lying. Don't the system own them when they go to jail? Don't they have to do everything that they say, or they're gonna have consequences? If you, the parent, don't own them and you shouldn't discipline them, you shouldn't be their authority figure. Why is it that as soon as they mess up, they lock them up, control them, do everything that they say you can't do? Why is that? And there are a lot of people who buy into this whole system and buy into this and thinking that I can't discipline my kids because I'm doing too much and I'm crossing the line and I have to give them their space. No, if you paying the bills, they're under your roof, they're minors, and you're responsible for them, then you're going to listen to what I tell you to do, or they're going to be consequences. I don't give a damn what nobody else says. But when you have when their father is in that picture, you as the mother, you don't have to really raise your voice too much. You don't really have to do too much because dad is gonna step in and control all of that. It don't even get to that point because they understand, hey, we got mom, she gonna talk a lot, she gonna let her know. But dad is gonna set the standard. He's going to put his foot down, and what he says goes, and either there's nothing you can do about it. When you become an adult and you get on your own and you take on your own responsibilities, and you going to understand what that's like. But until then, you understand what it is. You don't cross those lines. But when there's fathers in the household who have been there from day one, for the most part, and your roots are there, and your kids know you, and they know what you about from the beginning, you don't have that issue. You don't have that issue. You just don't. So you don't even get to the point, where it gets out of hand, because you got mother play her role, and the father is going to do his job. And while you have good time with your parents, and your parents, you don't cross certain lines with your goddamn parents, and for damn sure you don't cross no line with dad. So that's why I think both are important, and I just wish people would understand that. Mrs. Fluellen says, exactly. My father was 6'5". His presence alone put the fear of God in all 13 of us. I know that's right. Exactly. I don't have to say a word to our 2 sons. My husband handles that. Exactly. But when you have fathers in the household, that's how it is. You don't really have to do too much. They understand, and children are going to be children, but at the same time, they know not to cross certain lines. They just know. But I think when it's just a mother there, I think sometimes, even daughters and, sons, they feel like they could test it a little bit. They could test the waters a little bit when it's just a mother, because, what's she going to do? And you see that happening. They try to test the mothers. You see some women say they go head to head with their daughters. I ain't never had to go head to head with any of my daughters. Why? Go head to head for what? And I've heard this idea that, mothers and daughters don't get along because it's 2 women can't be in the household. No, well, what's understood is I'm the mother and you're the child. Until you get out and you have your own household, it is what it is. The boundaries shouldn't be crossed. And I think if you allow that to happen, and a lot of times when it's just the mother, a lot of these young women think they could test their mothers or go toe to toe with her or all that. No. But when you have fathers present, no, they know not to do that, because the father is not going to allow his child to disrespect his wife. Let's make that clear too. The father is not going to allow his child, son or daughter, to disrespect his wife. So they know that. So they're not trying to do that. And they know they're going to have to deal with that. And then that's not going to be what they want. So, it's a different dynamic. That's all. It's a different dynamic. It's a different type of environment. And I think this is why one works and the other does not. And it's more difficult raising a child by yourself than with a mother and a father in the household. It's just what it is. And I just wish that people would fully understand and not look at it as a bad thing or a negative thing, and not look at it as, oh, well, everything revolves around a man. Why do I? No, it's just that's a part of why we're here. It's a part of our why we're created. Women and a man were designed for each other. We're supposed to procreate together and build families together. It's not meant for us to do it separately. And I know we're in a modern society and everything is, we're in a 2025. Women are liberated and women are bosses and we don't need, what's the purpose of a man? Well, think about your goddamn child. What's the purpose of a man in the household? For your children. Because as much as you're talking about boss chicken and money and being independent and all that, what about your goddamn children? Because your children I bet your children would have a difference of an opinion. I bet when these kids are asking you why they don't have a dad, your money and your resources have nothing to do with that. Ask your child, do they care about money versus having their father in their lives and doing things with their father? Because I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of children don't give a damn about money and all this other stuff that we care about. They care about your time. They want to have you around. They want your presence. They want to be able to do things with dad, with mom. They want the experiences. They want to build a relationship with their parents, the people who brought them here. Most kids don't care about all the stuff that we care about. A lot of us were disadvantaged and didn't have a lot. And a lot of times when you get money, that's the end all be all for you. And now you want to spoil your kids with all these name brands and all these things. A lot of times the kids don't even care about it. They'll take the cheaper version of something and be fine with it, but they want to spend time with you. They want to build memories and relationships with you because they look up to you. But a lot of times parents miss that because they're so focused on the things that they missed out on and what they want, and they're not focused on that the child don't even give a shit about that. And I say, listen, time is worth more than money. You can have all the money in the world, but your time, when you run out of time, the money don't even matter because the money, if the money could buy you time, then I would say money. But money can't buy you time for the most part. Tell that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people understand where I'm coming from. The people who have been in situations where time had run out and they wish they had more. It had nothing to do with money because at some point your money can't do that. Your money can't buy you. When your time is up, your time is up. Your money can't extend that. And you can't get back the time that you missed out on. You can't get a clock and go back and decide at the end, oh, I want to go back and I want to redo some things. You cannot do that. So this is why I say a lot of people waste time on the foolish things. You waste a lot of time on things that don't matter, and you miss out on opportunities that could have been shared and something that could have been useful and beneficial later on. So I would, if I can, give a little word of wisdom to anybody, it's, understand how important time is. Understand the time that you spend with you, because when your loved one is passing away, and you didn't get to, do things with them that you want to do with them, or you missed out on some opportunities, money and all the other shit that you worry about, it goes out the window. When your loved one is in the hospital clinging to life, trying to live, you don't give a shit about all the rest of that. All your focus is on that person getting better. And you wish that they could have more time to be better. You hope and pray that they can get them well so that you can have more time with them. Nobody ain't thinking about how much my business made. All of that shit goes out the window when you're faced with your life and your livelihood. But, once again, people ignore that and they go back to the superficial, and that's what matters until it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think it's just something to think about. Because so much is spent on the bullshit and nobody really talks about the realness of things. And I think if we really focus on this on a daily basis, it will cause us to react and do things a little differently. We'll start to see things a little bit more clearly, and we'll start to think about life in a different way. Not about, I'm getting to the bag, and F these ninjas, and I'm doing this by myself, and this and all that dumb shit don't matter. It really don't matter. It really does not matter. We all gotta die. And a lot of times people wasting all their time on the bullshit. And then when they facing debt, now you want to focus on what's important. But so much time has passed and you've missed out on so much and you can't make up for it. That's just how it is. So why not think about that now and focus on things now and start to make changes to better your situation and focus on what's real and not all the bullshit of things. That's what I'm saying. People waste too much time on the dumb stuff and then be mad, that they don't have the outcomes that they wanted because you just focus on things that really don't matter, and the things that matter just fall to the wayside. They fall to the wayside, and then you're looking around like trying to blame somebody for the things that you missed out on or the things that you didn't get because you didn't prioritize the things that you should have to get what it is that you want.
Girl, be like, yeah, you know what? I can understand.
That's nobody else's fault. That's yours because you make the decisions for you. Other people can do what they want, but you can't control other people. You are in control of you. So you can only do things that will change you and your outcomes, not somebody else's. And it makes you open to the nature of other people. So you watch folks, you vet them, you see what they do. And if they're not in alignment with the things you're trying to accomplish in life, you keep it moving. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. I got one more clip for y'all that I want to share with you real quick. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. All right. Hit the like button, y'all. Well, thank y'all for the likes. We got the likes caught up. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Get y'all. It is hot in here. I'm sweating all of a sudden. Check this out.
Girl gonna be like, yeah, you know what? I can understand why he left my mom and abandoned us. Yeah, I probably would have abandoned your weird ass too. No funny shit.
So let's keep it a buck. After asking her adult sons their opinion on how relationships work, They admitted to their mother that, you know what, they see why their dad left. But then that mother's response, because her sons critiqued their view of how she is as a woman, she admits that she would abandon them. I would argue that some of y'all mothers, y'all didn't stick around because y'all loved them kids. Y'all stuck around because those kids were resources, rent, and food. Y'all would have abandoned them just like the dudes that y'all want us to be mad at, right? Let's keep it above. That's why I say some mothers are not above reproach. But I digress.
Listen, put all.
Listen, I mean, and that's why I say, listen, two things could be true at once. You know, every mother is not a great mother. Every woman that has a child is not a great mother. That's just what it is. And I think there's a point to that. And I kind of alluded to that a little earlier because I've seen it. A lot of women have abandoned their children, but nobody focuses on that because they take the kids, they put them in a foster system. The mother goes out. A lot of women have been on addicted to drugs. I've seen that growing up. A couple of my friends' mothers were addicted to drugs, where to the point where she's running out, you know, taking her clothes off, running out the street buck naked from the drugs. Like I've seen this growing up. So, and they were, you know, end up having to live with their grandmother, you know, and all of that. So the mother was not responsible. She was in that life or whatever. And, you know, that happens. But I'm just saying, it's like, just because you have children don't mean that you're responsible. People have issues and they don't always be there for their kids. And so we all, as much as we talk about the deadbeat fathers, there are a lot of women who are not responsible mothers either. But we can't talk about that for some reason. We're supposed to exclude the bad behavior of the women and just focus on the men. And that's hard to do when you know that all of that exists. And so what he basically said in this clip was, listen, a lot of these women didn't want these kids. I've seen women say F them kids many a times. You know, they weren't really into them kids because they know a lot of they've had multiple baby daddies, and a lot of the men that they had the kids with, they didn't even like. Like I said, he was fine. Y'all had a good time and that was it. You wasn't trying to be in a relationship with him, and you had the kid. Kid just was, you know, happened to come out of it. And then, you know, they try to throw them kids off on their mothers or whoever they can. Every chance they get, they're going out to the clubs. They're not trying to be at home, you know, baking cookies for the kids and watching movies with them and having a family life with these kids. No, they still be having them cheering and running the streets, still trying to party it up. Don't even be worrying about these kids and going out there and making more. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, also this video reminded me of a Kevin Samuels clip where he was talking to this older woman. And I don't know if you guys remember, I wish I had the clip. He was talking to this older woman, and this woman was like, why do you know, she just came on with a nasty attitude asking this grown man, why do you do what you do, basically? He was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, why do you hate women? He was like, I don't hate women. You know, that's the first thing they try to tell you or insult you with. And he's like, why do you feel that way about women? He was like, well, I forget what he asked her, but I don't know if you remember that old lady. He was like, she was like, what did she say? I wish I had the clip. And he was like, you have any kids? She was like, yeah, I have sons and daughters. I have 2 sons. And he said, ask your sons what do they think about what I say, because they probably would agree with me. And she was like, well, my sons, you know, basically they didn't have a good relationship she didn't have a good relationship with her sons. And he said her sons don't ever want to be married. They don't want, and he told her because they probably don't want to, because they've experienced you, they don't want to be married to a woman that looks like you. Baby, she couldn't even say nothing because basically he had her number. He clocked her T because he like, look, she said she would have to be a certain way, and it was a off-putting to her sons. And so her sons don't want to get married because they don't want to get a woman like her. And she couldn't say, and this kind of speaks to this clip because this is like, she asked the sons, what do they think about her? And they said, we understand why a man would have left you because of your attitude. Basically how you are. No man would want to tolerate you and deal with you. See, this is the nature how a lot of women depict this idea that men just leave, just like there's no reason. He just got the hell up and said, hell with you motherfuckers. I'm just saying, I'm out. I don't care about you and none of these goddamn kids. I'm out. I'm gone. And there was no legitimate reason whatsoever. He just said, deuces, I'm out of this motherfucker. That ain't what it is. A lot of these women are very combative. They were raised by combative women, and they're combative. They're insufferable. They're hard to deal with. You can't communicate with them. It's not like they were just the most serene, beautiful, softly spoken woman, and it was so just easy to talk to, and he just took advantage of it and just said, "To hell with y'all." No, a lot of these women are very masculine and very, just nasty, and nobody. And then who wants to sit around and deal with that? For the men that did leave, I'm pretty sure they had a reason, a legitimate reason. Now, a lot of times if a man leave a relationship and he knows that that's his child, he still has a relationship with his child for the most part. All of them aren't walking away and not doing anything for them children. The ones, they end up being on child support. The ones who know that that's their children, they end up on child support. They still have a relationship with their children. It's just they don't have a relationship with the mothers. And the situations where they're talking about, oh, the men just left, a lot of those don't even be relationships. They once again, that's the part they don't want to say. They be hooking up with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Pookie and Ray Ray, and just getting pregnant. And then you want these strangers to come and be a part of your life and the child's life. That's why that don't happen. But for the ones who know that that's their kids, who actually were in relationships with these women, they usually have relationships with their kids, and they on child support, and they see their children, and they're a part of their lives. It's just they don't want to be with the crazy whack ass women. These women, once again, like to portray that all women are just so great and beautiful and humble and nice and all this, everything sweet pie, tea and pie. And they're not. They're horrible. Some of them are horrible creatures. And any man in his right mind would remove himself from that before he end up hurting her, or she hurting him, or they hurt each other. So yeah, it's just not, the fact that all the men are just horrible. A lot of these women are too. And we got to start looking at both sides and stop just putting it all on one group, because we know that is strictly not the truth. Boys love their mothers. So when they dislike their mothers, she really damaged them. Oh, I agree with that. Lorenzo Redmond says the baby mama from hell, they exist. I call these bad acts kids children of the corn. Children of the corn. Then we'll tell the kids that their father kept them. No, ma'am, he left you, not his kids. Exactly. This is why, we have to look at it all. We can't. That's why I'm so glad that y'all get it, and that y'all understand, and y'all are real about it, and y'all understand that there are both sides to this. We just can't push that. I can't push that narrative that, oh, all these men are just deadbeat and all of them just dusties and all of them are just this and that. When I have a good men in my life, my husband, my sons, they're good people. They're not walking around here trying to manipulate people and take advantage of folks and do all this crazy shit. No, you got to understand that all of it exists. But to sit around here and act like all women are just these perfect, that is just not, that's so not true. And they know it. And the funny thing, they know it, but they're going to continue to play victim and play like, that's what it is, child. And gonna run with it, girl, and let you think that. And that's not helping though. Cause the real you gonna come out. The real you gonna show. You can't fake it forever. That attitude, that meanness, all that just gonna come out. You can't fake it. You gonna have to let loose and be who you are. Just accept who you are. I like the ratchets who be like, you know what, this who I am, and I don't give a damn what nobody think, and I don't care. Okay, at least you being honest about it. At least you acknowledge who you are, and that's who you gonna be. And you could take it or leave it, because most will leave it, but who knows? It might be somebody that might accept it, but at least you're being honest and you accept who you are and you know who you are. At least that, I'd rather that than somebody lying to themselves and trying to convince people that you're something that you're not. I'd rather the person to be upfront and honest, because at least you know who you're dealing with. Than the person lying and covering up who they are, then you got to find out later on, when you years in and children with them, and then the real truth come out how they really feel. That's worse, Some don't understand happiness, so they don't know how to attain it. That's true, E. Johnson. Women must be honest with themselves and accept the fact that they prefer pookies until they exceed their prime. We know that's a fact. We know that's a fact. We see it happening every day. Now it's time. Oh, ladies, we're 40 now. We're 45. We're 50. Let's get us a lame dude. That's how they be. Girls, It's time to get that nice guy. Girls, get that nice guy. Get the lame. Girl, get him. That's what we need in our lives. We're 45. Let's go. Let's go. We got to get the lames. Come on. Now that's so insulting. What if these men said that? What if men said, fellas, we 50. We 50 years old. You know, let's go get the big backs. Because that's all we can get. But they don't work like that for men. See, that's the thing. The older they get, the more, they get themselves together. The older they get, they can go get a 25-year-old if they wanted to. See what I'm saying? It works opposite. But it just say if that was their only option. What if they say, what if the 25-year-olds weren't available? And they's like, well, fellas, we got to hang it up now. We got to go. Let's just, just men just call them big backs. Let's get the big fat ones now or something like that. I mean, I'm just saying. They wouldn't like that. If they start saying, let's get the big backs, the big cankles, just big all around. That's what we gonna go get them now that we old and we settle in our ways and, we can't really do much now. We got arthritis and let's go get us a big one now. We can accept her now. Yeah, be pissed. Pharaoh says, American black women get bad guy John Cena treatment, LOL, from Zaddy. Lord, thank you, Pharaoh. Successful MD says, having your life together equals nice guy, just dumb. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Yeah, the things that they say, though, they still like Pookies at 70. Then we'll be on Kendra G looking for a man, child. Look at Vivica Fox, child. What's she looking for? She looking for a hood or a hood dude with some money. She still like him hood probably with a little swag at 70, at 60. Little swag, come on, take me shopping. But you got to know who and what I am. Come on, baby, because don't play with me because I'm Vivica A. Fox, honey. Baby, you got to come with the swag, honey, and know who and what I am. Not be intimidated by it, boo. You know what I'm saying? Take me shopping. Don't forget that, right? You got to take me shopping. Yeah. Come on now. Take me shopping. I need shopping. Like, what are you shopping for? God damn, another BBL? Shit. All this shopping? What you ain't shopped enough? What are you shopping for at 70? Come on now. What do you need? You can't need that much at 70. Lord. Come on now. Y'all need to be sitting down somewhere and drinking tea and watching some movies and chilling. Shouldn't you relax? That damn BBL look like they hurt. Don't you want to sit down and get a massage or something? Like, what's all this goddamn shopping? Like, come on. Nothing else better to do? Anyway, it's just what it is. It's the nature of women. That's what they want. And they're not getting it. They're not getting it. Because men ain't trying to, every time, there's more videos, which I'm going to start posting them too. I'm going to start posting videos of these women going on these dates and these men saying, oh no, baby, you paying your part. I pay for mine, you pay for yours. And they losing their shit. They're like, oh my God, I got to pay for this. You offer me out. Girl, y'all boss chicks, y'all ain't got no money? Y'all done went shopping too much? You can't pay for a meal? On one hand, they're like, oh, well, I'm used to Ruth Chris and I'm used to this steakhouse and I'm used to this and I'm used to that because this is what I eat. I eat crab balls all goddamn day, every day. You know what I'm saying? I eat like this. Lobster tails for breakfast, bitch. That's how they be. I'm sorry, y'all. That's how they be. Girl, so what you gonna do? Because this is what I do for myself. Right, but then when the dude take you somewhere, you can't even pay a $40 meal. You crying about that. If you eat lobster tails for breakfast, first off, that's bad, and that's why they have big bats. But you can't even pay for your own meal. If you got it like that, and the dude say, you know what, I got mine, you got yours. We ain't got no connection or whatever. Cool, no problem. Pull out my card, pay for it, no problem. But they sure be crying about that little money for that food. To say they got all this money and they eat lobster tails for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But boy, when these men say you pay for your part, they crying. And now these men getting up, leaving, going to the bathroom and never coming back. Which I think is hilarious. Like to do that is funny as hell. If I see that in real life, baby, I would be dying. Like you literally, these men literally getting up. Oh, I'll be right back and going to the bathroom and straight leaving these chicks to pay for their food. Baby, that's funny. That is funny. My sister said she actually saw it. And I'm like, girl, you always see the stuff. Like, I don't get to see it because I don't be out like that. But Lord Hammers, I would be dying laughing. Keith Randall, thank you so much for the super chat. Says salute chat and DeeDee, you cooking it here. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Baby, it's crazy though. It's crazy. It really is, y'all. It's laughable, but at the same time, it's not. But that's how they be. What's going on, Class C Perspective? How you been? What's going on with you? Yeah, it's just a mess. They really eat lobster for breakfast. Child, they be talking about they eat lobster tails for breakfast and they eat all kind of shit. I'm like, okay. We only go to expensive restaurants on special occasions. We have the money. These chicks are superficial. Exactly. That's my trick. I was going to the bathroom and never coming back. Oh my God. That is hilarious to me. I would be weak. Because I just think that that's funny. I just think that's funny that that is actually happening. My high school sweetheart always said, going Dutch ain't much. I did it thrice. It never failed. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Go learn how to cook instead of living on the World Wide Web. Right. Lying on the World Wide Web. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, ain't nothing wrong learning how to cook a meal, child. To me, being able to cook is way better than going out to eat all the time. You know, yeah, I think there are special moments where you want to get out the house and go, eat out or go somewhere. It's really because honestly, and maybe this is just me, y'all. There's a few restaurants that I do like and I, frequent there from time to time because I just like certain things. When I like certain things, that's what I go for. If I like, certain items that I've tried and it's good, I stick with that. But, I'm open to trying different things. But at the same time, I've never been a foodie person. I've become kind of one a little bit. After all these children, I've kind of become a foodie. But I like to cook. And my daughters know how to bake from scratch. You know what I'm saying? If we want cake, we can make cake. I can make cake from scratch. I rather my cake because it's less additives and, what's the things that they put in stuff now, all these different things, additives and stuff. So it's better to make your own from scratch because you know exactly what you're putting in it. You know what I mean? So my husband used to call me snacks. So I like a good snack, but I'd rather make it. You know what I mean? I'll make this buttercream cake that I love. I found the recipe on YouTube and I make it. I love it. My daughters know how to make it. They make stuff from scratch. They learn. My sons know how to make pancakes from scratch because we have a recipe. Well, I have the recipe. I've made it. Now they make it. They'll make me, if I want pancakes, they'll make me some pancakes from scratch. Like they know how to make stuff. I always think that it's much better to learn how to make things yourself. You don't always have to go out to get it. You know what I'm saying? Always go out to buy it. You can make it. And then you can focus on buying like flour, things to make stuff. Flour. You can get wheat flour. You get the kind of flour that you want. You can, get the things that's needed to make different things. My daughter was making bread. We didn't buy bread for the longest because she was making bread. She know how to make bread from scratch and it's really good. So it's like, and we don't eat everything from scratch, but we make a lot of stuff ourselves. And so you just learn how to do it and it's fun. It's fun to get in the kitchen to do that type of thing, and then when your children know how to do it, it's even much more fun. And it's a blessing that they learning how to do stuff that they can take into their lives. And when they get married and have their families, they can incorporate that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. So, yeah, you about to make some breakfast food now. What you making successful, MD? See, then y'all start talking about food, baby. I am a foodie. I'm going to eat. I like to make what we call Brenner. We call it Brenner, breakfast for dinner. We do that on occasion. So yeah, we call it Brenner. Letting y'all know, so don't steal. It's called Brenner, breakfast for dinner. We do that for my sons do that sometimes. They'll make pancakes and eggs, bacon, and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Ooh, omelet and pancakes. Oh my God. Yes. I would eat a pancake right now. I sure would. Anyway, child, trust me, because I be trying to like, y'all, I am struggling. I be trying to stay on a diet, but I like to eat. I don't know why I like food. I didn't like food that much when I was younger. Why did I'm getting older? Now I'm just becoming a foodie. I'm becoming one. Why was I was younger? I barely ate. Was skinny as hell. Like didn't eat a lot at all. Then all of a sudden you get older. You get to that them older ages. I don't know. Them hormones start changing and it start making you want to eat a lot. I'm just saying. The only time I would ever get a real big appetite is when I was pregnant. And I'm definitely not pregnant now. I'm just getting older and now these hormones are changing and they making me hungry all the time. It feel like when I was pregnant, like when I had all the cravings and stuff, I just be craving all kinds of stuff. But then I can't eat a lot of it, but I just want to eat some of it. It's like, what is going on, Lord? I'm gonna have to take Ozempic or something, shit. Cause I just be like, boy, I be having all kinds of cravings. I really gotta stop, for real. Onions, cheese, green. What? And look, he tempted XYZ. What? DeeDee, you know I can burn my own biscuits. Yeah, we be making biscuits too. I love a good biscuit. I can't eat a lot of bread though, but I love omelets, biscuits, eggs, bacon. And he talking about onions, cheese, green peppers, and omelets. What? That's my stilo. Like what? Yeah, I will tear up a goddamn omelet with that in it. Yeah, and some bacon too. I like French toast too. I like French toast. Eric Williams, thank you for the super chat. Says DeeDee, are you selling any of those cakes for sale? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. But hell, who knows? I might be open to that. But thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. Oh my God. My favorite is that because I used to get this I used to buy this what is it? Oh my God, what is it? What did I say? Vanilla cream, something like that. Cake. I used to buy it and I loved it. And then I couldn't find the cake anymore. And then I found a recipe and made it. And it's delicious and I love it. I haven't made it in a while because I was trying not to eat that, but I'm pretty sure after this I'm gonna make one. I'm just saying. Thank you, Eric. Biscuits and gravy. I love that too, but I can't eat too much gravy. I get heartburn from gravy. Can't do that. I don't eat a lot, but my hubby and two sons do. I can't keep food in the fridge for 24 hours because it will be gone. Right. Oh my God, child. With all these big grown folks I got around here. I got a lot of kids, but they grown. They ain't kids really. They grown. Majority of these boys eat. You know, they healthy too. They tall and they stealth. But they don't. You put something down. I'm like, y'all, they gotta write their name on stuff. Like if you don't, I be telling them, yeah, hey, if you don't put your name on it, put it in a little to go box, put your name on it. Because if you don't, it's gonna be gone. It ain't gonna last, especially if it's something that they like. That's how it is around here. Please don't take Ozempic. It's dangerous, sis, but I be hungry too. Right. I feel you. And listen, I'm saying that, girl. Girl, I ain't taking that shit. I be scared. Y'all gonna learn. I be talking, but I'm not gonna do that. I was just telling my husband about that. He was like, you'll be done got the stuff and it be months before you take it because you be reading up on it. And listen, look, I ain't really about it. I ain't really about that life. Girl, I would be done bought the shit. And we was just looking at one of them. It's like $165 a month. And I'm like, I be done got it. And it'll be sitting there for months while I be evaluating it, going through tons of videos talking about, is this safe? You know, even if I've seen a doctor, I still be like, is this, listen, girl, I be talking, but I ain't really I would have been taking it for that. I don't know. I just be talking. I ain't really trying. I be scared. I'm not a medicine person. I don't be really, look, I was scared to take NyQuil for the longest, child. Cause yeah, I know. And by you saying that reinforces that I probably wouldn't. I just go ahead and stick to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Stick to working out. Cause child, yeah, I be scared real low key. I I be talking, but I don't really be fooling with that stuff like that. I be scared as hell. Cause people be saying the complications they be having. Oh, hell no, I can't. Rick says, eat fruits and make smoothies for the cravings. I was doing that and I was doing good when I was doing that, but I don't never stick to it. I just don't stick to it. You know, when you can make all kind of snacks and things, it's kind of difficult. It really is. I ain't gonna lie. It's difficult. It's difficult. But I'm trying. I'm trying. And I feel like the older I get, it gets worse. But I promise you, I won't be, 600-pound life for sure. I ain't let myself go that far. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you. Due to mad, I can excessively eat and look like anorexic Biggie Smalls. Oh my God. I agree with that. I hate medicine. Yeah, I'm not. Go ahead, Mercy. NyQuil. Yeah, I used to be scared to take NyQuil. Let me tell you, baby. Listen, my husband, this dude here, baby, he was standing up. I remember the first time I saw him drink NyQuil. He just had the bottle in his hand, and he was standing up next to the refrigerator. He just was pouring it back, and I just was like shocked, like, oh my God, he's gonna overdose. We laugh about that because when I was like, Ninja, you don't drink, don't it come with a measuring cup? He was like, he been taking NyQuil so long, it's no big deal. I was like, what? Oh my God, is he gonna overdose? Listen, I don't play with medicine, baby. I really don't. I've never been a medicine type person. Yeah, I would be prescribed something and still won't take it. If I go online and look up what it is and what it could possibly do to you, I may not take it. And I had to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's a prescription medicine, and I gotta take it, I would just wait for days before I took it. That's how skeptical I am about medicine, baby. So yeah, he was taking the NyQuil to the head, Lord. It don't even work on him no more. He still be taking it though. He gotta go days and days without taking it. Then when he do, he just be like nothing. And I'm like, we the opposite when it comes to that. He ain't afraid to take no kind of medicine, baby. He ain't afraid. I'm quite the opposite. So it's just crazy. Eric says, try sea moss. I've been thinking about that too, Eric. I've never tried it though, so that's probably my next venture. That's good for you, especially the peach and the strawberry versions. Peach and strawberry versions. Do you have a brand, Eric? Is there a brand that you recommend? Please let me know if you have a brand that you recommend. But I will look for peach and the strawberry versions of it. Because I've heard that that's good for you. And so now I'm going to try it. I will try it and I will let you know what I think. If it does it help to get rid of cravings and stuff? Because that's what I need. I need like something that helps with sugar cravings, If I don't have to take the meds I'm taking now, I wouldn't be taking nothing at all. I took sea moss. It helped with other parts of the body. Okay. Brother gotta sleep, Oh Lord, y'all a trip. I used to take some years ago. I was thinking about starting back too. My hubby is the same way. He is like, I don't need that measuring cup. Me looking at him worried that he took. I always be like, damn, why you? But I'm used to it now. The real DeeDee comes out after 5 p.m. Baby, the real DeeDee is always here. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm getting tired, so I start talking too much. It is hot in here. I'm sweating. So no, I'm winding down. So I just start talking too much, child. It's just at the end of the night, baby. I need to go to sleep. This is getting ready to be my bedtime. That's why. Thank you, Successful MD. Hell, I start getting sleepy, baby, and then I just start saying whatever comes to my head. But yeah. Mayim the goddess. I hope I'm saying your name right. Those dang old side effects be getting me. Oh, I'm losing weight, but I'm growing another head. What you mean? I'm good. Fruit helps the cravings. Wait, what you mean? What do you mean? Wait, hold on. Side effects from what? Wait a minute. I missed something. Wait, side effects be getting me from what? Oh, I'm losing weight, but I'm growing another head. I'm good. Fruit helps the cravings. So I'm gonna get some fruit and I'm gonna get some sea moss. I've been wanting to try sea. Mayim, am I saying it right? What are you talking about? What you getting the what you getting the side effects from? The sea moss you talking about? I need to know. Hold on. They do have brands on Instagram. Hold on. They do have brands on Instagram. That's how I found out. I'm gonna look. I've seen some now. I'm gonna look because I wanted to get some, but I just haven't gotten it yet because I be trying all kind of other stuff. Like I got that sour sop. What do y'all think about that? I got the sour sop bitters. I only took it a few times. I don't take it every day. That's supposed to help. I've only taken it a couple of times. I still got a full bottle of the sour sop bitters. What about that? That's supposed to help with gut and all of that stuff too. I bought some chlorophyll because that's supposed to help do something. I don't know. Um, and what else I've tried? I tried so much, and I just have a whole bunch of stuff just sitting around that I haven't tried, and I'm just spending money, and I can't keep doing that. I gotta find something that works and stick with that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, gotcha. You just being fun. Okay, okay, sis. I appreciate it. Cause listen, I'd be like, wait a minute, what side effects, child? Let me know, cause I know not to go there. Um, I appreciate it. Oh, okay, thank you. Um, Ozempic, baby, all meds cause you could cause you problems. More pills for the side effects, right? Hi, DeeDee. My 26th birthday is this Saturday. Well, happy early birthday. Happy early 26. I hope you enjoy your birthday. 26. Oh my God, you're so young. That's young. Good night, Mrs. Llewellyn. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Hi, DeeDee. I saw your Tupac dance video. Oh, you did? That was funny. Baby, I be trying. All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Go take me the shower and go chill out for the rest of the evening. Um, Go and relax my nerves, y'all. I have fun with y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here, giving me a laugh. Trust me, it is definitely necessary. I need to laugh. I need to be myself, like somebody said, because I can't be anybody else but me. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate the fact that y'all allow me to come on here and be myself. You know what I'm saying? Even though I talk what I talk about, I still can be myself and feel comfortable with being who I am. Because, at one point I was not. Like when I used to do beauty videos, I was very not in my own element. I used to do beauty videos, hair, makeup, and stuff like that. Sometimes I think whether I should go back into that. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of women would want to see stuff like that of how I apply makeup and things of that nature. I was thinking about getting back into that, but I'm not sure because I don't know if people are gonna watch it. But I was thinking about it because it was kind of fun, but I could do it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy, sis. Get some rest, peace, love, and light. Thank you, my goddess. I appreciate you. Thank you. You'll watch? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about dibbling in that a little bit because I have a lot, I still like makeup and stuff like that. And I like to show some of the tips that I use or whatever. So who knows? I may do that. It's kind of fun now and I feel more comfortable doing it because at first I was kind of like not really in my element with that. And it showed. And so, but yeah, so that would give something, for women to watch. Well, I know women like those types of videos or whatever. So I may dibble into that a little bit. Who knows, child? But because I always be saying I want to do this and do that, but I just never have enough time in a day to do it. So it takes a lot to do all of that plus with everything else I got going on. So I just, if I can get to it, you'll see it. If not, that just lets you know I ain't really had a chance to do it. So I ain't promising nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all for being here, y'all, for giving me a good laugh, for understanding, giving your thoughts, your opinions. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat, everybody who watched the stream, everybody who supports the channel, watch the videos. Make sure you guys are watching the videos posted on the channel. Y'all go over, watch it, hit it, like it. And that definitely helps the videos out so we can get the numbers up on the videos that are already posted. Also share and like them if you can, and hit that notification bell to all so that you'll get all of my content. All right, you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. All right, so that is it. I appreciate you guys. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be safe out here in the streets, y'all, because crazy people are lurking. Be safe, y'all. Have a good rest of your evening. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Y'all be safe. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.